Well, hello and welcome to tonight's live stream. Now, the internet here is not the best in the world, so it goes off. I apologise, but I'm stuck where I am at the moment. I didn't plan on being here today, but things happen, as you probably know, and the reason I'm still here today is because a tree has fallen down across the canal about 200 yards in front of me. So yeah, I do notice that perhaps the picture's a little bit blurry, but there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. I've got the phone in the best window I could find for a signal, and I did notice that yesterday that the signal around this time was better than later on as well. Um, I also, because of having all the lights on, obviously for filming this time of the year. If I do it earlier, I've got more electric, and I still have a chance to run the engine if I happen to get a bit short. Oh, good, I forgot to mention that. My normal first question, of course, is can you hear or see me? Cheers, Mark. Right, yeah, so I just want to let people know. Main thing I wanted to let you know is I'm going to be taking a couple of weeks off over Christmas. Um, I've got enough video footage, I think, for another couple of weeks. I haven't been moving very far for the last few weeks. I've been stuck in this area. It's Christmas time, and as you possibly know, or a lot of you do, I go to my parents for Christmas. So I have to be in this area, and my kind brother will come and pick me up and take me there if I'm not too far away. So if you saw the earlier the little video I put out at 4 o'clock, you'll probably see I'm in Coventry Basin. I've met up with Steve Tyrrell, his YouTube channel Precious Jet. So I met up with Steve, and we had a beer over the weekend. And when I met up with him, oh, turn it around so you can read it rather than me. If you can read it, I don't know if the light's going to allow that to pick up. Or can we get it into shot? Ginger mead bottled 29th of August 2024. So we're going to try it. Now, Steve tells me he hasn't back sweetened this at all. So it's basically straight after fermentation. This is how it is. So, yeah, I love ginger and I quite like mead. So let's hope it's very good. Um, He wants me to give an honest opinion, which I will, of course. As you know, on my beer streams, I like to give an honest opinion. So, yeah, let's pop it. It shouldn't pop. We never know. Just a little bit, yeah. Let's say it shouldn't be fizzy. I've got my little glass. It's just easier when I'm on the small table here. I don't knock it off. Let's pour it away, shall we? I'm going to put that back down. Let's put that down. How does this thing work? Up there. Click that back down. I'm going to put that back down on the floor out of the way. It's a big bottle, and no me, I'll be getting knocked off. So, yeah, what can we say about it? First of all, great colour. I can smell the ginger from here, so I definitely know it's the ginger one. Oh, yeah, very gingery. It's quite amazing, you know. This big punch of ginger up front, really, really nice. And on the back tones, you can taste the honey. Yeah. I'm glad you haven't back sweetened that, Steve. That is absolutely perfect for me. yeah, that's very enjoyable. I can see me, and that's got some alcohol in it, I can assure you. Woo! Right, let's get on and what I was going to talk about. Anyone's left me any messages, I just don't I always like them. Hello, Thailand Mick. Right, yeah, so what I was going to say is, yes, I don't have a lot of footage for leading up. Well, I'm going to run out in a couple of weeks' time, a couple of Saturdays' time, and I haven't filmed in a good month. I haven't got the camera right, except for putting the drone up the other day, just to put a little bit in. Yeah, I haven't really done any filming for probably about a month now, only because I've just been backwards and forwards on exactly the same piece of the canal for the last month and a half. Probably 2 months actually, because I was on this part of the canal to take my boat in for the blacking, and then I sort of moved away a little bit, but I didn't go far because I only went as far as Atherstone. The locks at Atherstone are closed because they're doing repairs on the locks there. So I was able to sort of go between Atherstone, Coventry, where I am now, and I could go to sort of just the other side of Rugby to Hill Morton Locks and turn there. Well, I could go further that way, but I don't want to go further that way. So anyway, I was sort of staying in this area. Well, some of you probably know, and I think I've mentioned it probably in a video or two. I talk about what I'm thinking at the time, as you all know, that my gearbox on my boat, I have a problem with it. Yes, it doesn't reverse very well. Now, a guy that knows a lot about them, it doesn't work on them anymore. That's the problem at Braunston, and he tells me that it's the clutch plates for the reverse are slipping, worn out, obviously, so they're slipping and need replacing. It's not quite as easy as that, as one might think, because it's a very old gearbox. It's a PRM gearbox. It stands for Percy Riley. I can't remember. I didn't know. Yeah. Anyway, it's one of their very early ones, and they don't do parts for it, apparently. Well, that's not perhaps quite true, because I know somebody that might be able to get parts from. Apparently, they might have the parts for it in what they class as their vintage parts. So anyway, let's hope that's true. And my good friend Simeon, who lives up at Wheelock, whose boat I stayed on whilst my boat was being blacked, he says he can take it apart for me and hopefully repair it. So that's my plans. Straight away in the new year, I shall be leaving here and I'm going to be heading north. So I'll be back with the camera again and I'll show you. Basically, I don't normally move much in the winter, but I'm going to try and get to Wheelock, well, as quick as I can. I'm going to say within a month, but it might take a bit longer. It might take me 6 weeks, I'm thinking, only because of the weather. I could get frozen in, short days, and if it's really cold, I might not want to move for more than perhaps 2 or 3 hours a day. But I'm going to try and keep moving until I get up to Wheelock. Obviously, I'll have to stop a couple of times for food and things like that. I'll have to book to go through Harecastle Tunnel. I'm not quite sure the frequency of that at the moment. I tried to look on the booking form the other day to see about booking, because you have to book before the 1st of March, and it wasn't very clear. I think it probably gives you a date after you book. Anyway, perhaps I was just misreading it. But anyway, so I'm going to book, obviously, when I get towards Harecastle Tunnel to go through the tunnel. There's pointless booking too soon because obviously I might not be able to get there. So I'm going to wait until I get to somewhere like Stoke-on-Trent. And I've done the Stoke locks, probably at Etruria, which is an easy cruise from there to the tunnel. But if I need to wait around for a while, I can get really good internet at Etruria. So if I need to do some editing, if I'm sitting around for a week, I can catch up with some editing. So I don't know quite when the next video will come out in the new year. It depends on where I am. If I get held up for any period of time, but if I can move every day, I will. So I probably won't be doing too much in the way of editing. But obviously, if it's chucking down with rain, I'm not going to do locks and things like that, and I have to wait for anything. I will then sit in and try and get some videos edited. As for Wednesday videos, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there at the moment. Coming into the new year, they might go askew for a few weeks until I get settled in again and can get back into doing more videos. But obviously, I've got to get my boat fixed as priority. I hope you all understand that. It's not like I don't want to bring you videos. It's just that I've got obviously things that must get done as a priority to me. It's no good having a boat that doesn't work because I won't be able to do any videos. So priority is getting the boat fixed. And I see some comments coming up. What have we got here? Dan from Bollington. Hello, Dan. Great to see you. Well, Dan, my plan is, as I've got to go all the way up to Wheelock anyway, and 2 years ago, I was planning to go up the Bridgewater and onto the Aston Canal, is it? And back up round onto the Peak Forest, up through Marple. So I might just do that again this year. Hopefully, well, I know Marple locks are open now, so hopefully I'll be good to do that up and around. Also, I understand that this could be the last year that the Anderton boat lift is opened forever. Apparently, it needs quite a lot of money spent on it, and the CRT don't have the money. This is a whisper I've heard, so I'm hoping it's not true, actually. So I thought, well, if I go up that way, I can do a quick detour down the Anderton boat lift and do the river again, and perhaps be able to go further on the river if the locks are open this time. So that's a plan as well. I'm hoping to do. So yeah, I'd rather like to do the Anderton boat lift again. It's rather a fantastic piece of engineering, if you ask me. Thank you very much. Two up. Is there any place or website where they can try and buy abandoned boats from? I don't know of one. It's possible. I don't know. It's nothing I've ever looked for. So that I cannot say, I'm afraid, Mick. I've just never looked for an abandoned boat, so I can't really help there. I'm guessing. Good evening, Lee. I'm guessing if you Googled abandoned boats on the Google search, it might come up. That's best I can offer you at the moment. Obviously, I'm on my laptop at the moment, so I can't. Well, I don't want to go doing anything else in case I overload the internet. And I'm going to have another little sip of this. That is good. Good whack of ginger in that. Well, Steve, if you get to see any of this, I know you're working tonight, but if you get to see any of this, it's got the thumbs up from me. Definitely. Oh, definitely thumbs up. Yeah, good evening. Two up. Oh, two up. I know who two up is now. Ah. Gee whiz. Sim. Sorry, Sim. What? Two up? What's two up? It's Sim, isn't it? Sim is the kind gentleman that hopefully going to look at my gearbox for me when I get up there. Absolutely fantastic, of course. Yes, so he's got a good channel actually. Well, it's just started up. If you're into motorbikes, he goes around two up off-roading on a motorbike. Well, basically off-road. It goes down all these off-road tracks all over the place. It's just started up the channel. just starting to put a couple of videos out. Well, recommend it. I'd go and watch it if I was you. I'm not into motorbikes particularly myself, but when you see him going along and he's chatting, a bit of chatting on it and all that, chatting to his wife on the back of the boat, back of the bike even, and it's going down these little tracks and through blooming great puddles and everything. You keep waiting to see what's around the next corner, what the obstacle is coming up. So yeah, say for somebody like me who's not really into biking these days, I had bikes years ago, but not into biking these days. I really enjoyed it. And the countryside you see is obviously fantastic as well. Well, Dan, don't put your cider down. I'm just kicking the bottle over now. I put it on the floor because I've saved one for Christmas. Yes, I've saved one of your demijohns or whatever it is. Not a demijohn, is it? It's too small. That's what they're called. Flagons for Christmas because I liked it so much. So it's been kept for a special occasion. So yes, don't put your cider down. I'll get drunk on that, all right. Adrian, hello, Adrian. Anton Boatlift closing for 18 months. Oh, it's 18 months. Thank you, Adrian. That's good news. So it will reopen, hopefully, then. That's different to what I got told literally a week ago. I was getting told it was going to close and probably never reopen. So that's great news if it would be reopening for 18 months. I believe they're keeping it open for this year because it's a special year, isn't it, as far as I know? Anyways, so that's great news. So, but I'm going to try and do the Anderson boat lift again this year. We'll see. We'll see what time I get there, if it's open or whatever. But that's the plan. But yeah, so Christmas, as I was saying, it'll take a couple of weeks off. It may be longer. As I say, it depends on when I get moving again. I'm hoping to move on the 1st of January, going back up northwards. My first stop will be from. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to be leaving the boat over Christmas because that would be stupid of me, wouldn't it? Not that I don't trust all my friends that come on the channel and talk to me. You don't know who might come on the channel and see where my boats will be moored for a few days and nobody on it. So I'm not going to tell you where it's going to be. If you happen to want to search for it up and down the towpath, it's going to be somewhere between here, Coventry Basin, Atherstone, and Hillmorton Locks. So it's a nice little walk for you if you want to walk all that towpath to find my boat. It'll take me more than 3 days, so that's about how long I'll be away from the boat. But when I get back to the boat, I'll let you know where I was. That's great news, Adrian. I appreciate that because I can let other people know that thought it might ever open again, that wanted to get up there to do it because they thought it was never going to open again. So that'd be great news. And this is going down like a treat, by the way, guys. Oh. These gifts I get, that is good. So is that. Both have been kept. I haven't had them in the fridge or anything. I've had them sat right on the floor of the actual floor of the boat, where I've got an area where I can actually lift up the floorboards. They've been sat on the hull of the boat, keep them nice and cold, so they don't take up the fridge space. And I can tell you that's come out just about perfect temperature tonight. Yes, very nice. So anyone got any questions about anything? I'm always up for any questions you want to ask. I'm hoping to fly the drone a bit more as well. I was really, when I flew it the other night or the other day, well, obviously, guys, the storms we've had coming through England at the moment, it's been, shall we say, quite windy. And I was a bit panicky putting the drone up in that wind, and it looked like it was moving all over the place in the wind when it was up. And I thought, oh dear. And you get a big gust of wind and it would move. But it didn't really pick it up that much in the filming. I was quite amazed how the gyroscope, obviously, on the camera was actually quite stable. Yeah, I was quite surprised about all that. I might, as I can't leave the basin at the moment, I'll tell you, a tree fell down about 200 yards north. It's not even that, it's 100 yards north of Bridge 1. It's about 200 yards from where I am now. It's a huge plane tree. It's come right across the canal, and the branches were on the towpath. So it's completely blocked the canal. I did look at if I could actually get up there with my chainsaw, but most of it's under the water, so I'm not putting a battery-powered chainsaw under the water, so I'm not doing that. So yeah, I informed the CRT straight away. I see it went up on the website. They put a post up saying about being closed between Bridge 1 and Bridge 2 or whatever. Because I went up there, I was going to leave that yesterday morning, and I went up there, I filled it with water, and I saw it in front of me. So that's when I called the CRT. They tell me they knew about it already. I don't know who reported it to them because no boats were waiting to come down, and there was myself and 3 other boats in the basin, and no one else had left. So I don't know who reported it to them, but apparently they knew about it. It wasn't until I actually reported it, I then noticed it come up on their website. So I don't know. I'm just saying. You never know what they're doing, do you? So anyway, I can't go anywhere at the moment. It's still there. It's still across the canal. I checked about 1 o'clock today. It was still there, and I'm pretty certain when they turn up, I will know they're there. It's only a couple of 100 yards away, as I say. I'm pretty sure if they've got chainsaws going that close to me, I will hear them. So I'm pretty sure I will know when they're there. And if I do hear the chainsaws, I'm going to go up there, more up right by them, and get some of the firewood. I see things popping up here, so I'll have a quick read. Well, as I say, right in front of me, there's the tree down right in front of me here, by the basin. I can't move anywhere. I can travel about 100 yards backwards and forwards at the moment. So yeah, I can't get anywhere. I'm guessing hopefully it'll be there tomorrow. As they had all day yesterday. They've had all day because I called them about 9:30 in the morning and told them it was blocked. So I had all day yesterday, all day today. I'm guessing they'll probably be out tomorrow. I'm surprised they're not. And then I need to go. Well, I'm in the middle of Coventry, but I'm not very close to many shops for food shops. There's a Tesco Express here, but and it's right underneath part of the university. So you can imagine what they sell in there. It's all what I call junk food. It's all these little packet stuff for the kids obviously buy, you know what I mean, in the university for quickness. It's not the sort of food I want to buy. And to actually walk to the supermarket, it's quite a stroll, and it's all uphill coming back. So I prefer to take my boat up to either Aldi or Tesco and just walk 50 yards from the Bloomin' Canal straight into the shop. Much easier and obviously a better choice. There's a Tesco up there, is one of the big Tesco's, whatever they call them. Oh, Slurpy Dave looking for pubs. There's a couple of good pubs in Bollington. Oh, I'm stuck in Coventry Basin, Dave. I believe you have been to Coventry Basin not that long ago. Yeah, stuck in Coventry Basin. Yeah, could be stuck in worse places, of course. And I could be stuck without anything to drink, couldn't I? That wouldn't be good, would it? Hi, Jackie. That's Dave's other half, by the way. And Slurpy Dave, I don't know if any of you have ever watched Slurpy Dave's channel. He, when he was over here, Dave's from the Isle of Man. And he comes over here and hires a narrowboat, and he does reviews of pubs here when he's going around on the canals. He also does reviews of pubs on the Isle of Man, and there's some cracking pubs on the Isle of Man he's been to, I can assure you. You wouldn't realise there's that many pubs on the Isle of Man. He's found them all. And I just see, I have been watching his channel. I don't watch a lot of boating channels anymore. I guess because I boat on my own. I do pick out the odd one here and there and watch the occasional ones. But it's just I just seen too much boating stuff these days. So I'm more likely to watch something like Dave when he's on a boat doing pub reviews than I am watching boating channels these days. I'm subscribed to most of them over here, and I still do watch some of them, but I don't watch them as rigorous as I used to. Sorry, guys, I've just got a bit boated out, I guess, because I do it all myself. The only ones I like to watch actually is if I'm going somewhere, I'll pick out some people's videos and see where they've been to and give me some idea of what's going on in certain areas. So it gives me something to perhaps look at. Even if I don't record it or video it, it gives me some points of interest to look at. Because I don't obviously video everything. I don't walk around with a camera in my hand all day long. I do like some downtime as well. You booked a boat from Swanley Marina in April. Bunbury? I don't know if I know Bunbury. Do I know Bunbury? I must have. I guess I've been through it. Must have been. It's up. It was on the Shroppy. As Swanley Marine is up on the Llangollen, Shropshire Union, Shropshire Union Llangollen branch, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Oh, okay. I know where the Barbridge pub is. Not one of my favourite pubs, but a lot of people rave over it. But there you go. A lot of pubs people rave over are not my type of pubs, but it's because I'm not looking for somewhere to eat. And that's more of a eating establishment than a what I call a proper pub. But there we go. So it depends what you're looking for. And probably Dave is on holiday, so somewhere like there would suit Dave quite well, you know. Hey, let's see if you can see it, Steve. I better top up my glass, hadn't I? The glass has got a bit empty, Steve. I better give another review on this, hadn't I? As you've joined in. If you went back to the beginning, Steve, you'll see what I said. I'll give you a bit of a review. I went, smell the ginger. Taste the ginger. The hit of ginger up front is really good. And then on the back, you get the honey. The back note is the honey, and that's really good. And as you know, I'm not a big fan of sweet things that much. That is perfect for me. It's got a nice dryness, crispness to it. And I think it's getting drunk on it quite easily as well. I think it's quite strong. put it this way, I've drunk this 1 little 8 ounce glass, and I know I've drunk it. If that gives you any idea. As Steve knows, the other night we had a beer or two in Hopster Moor. I think we had 5 or 6 pints each that night. So the bar just closed. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, actually, it might have been you, Dave, told me it was closing. I perhaps should have known that. King's Lock Pub. I will probably pop in there because I've got to go up past there this year. Well, as I say, I think it's blooming excellent. You can make me mead whenever you want to, Steve. That is, well, actually, I was a little bit worried when you told me you hadn't back sweetened it. I thought, oh, that could be a bit. I was expecting it to taste more of the alcohol rather than the flavors you get. And you don't taste the alcohol at all. But you certainly know there's some alcohol in it. You get a lovely hit of the ginger up front. And I know you said you put a lot of ginger in it. It's a fantastic hit of the ginger, and I love ginger. And then it just mellows out with a lovely sort of on the back of the tongue, the honey. And I'm what am I trying to think type of honey? Was it it's not a buckwheat honey or something like that, is it? So it's got and taste the honey now sort of coming back to me. And it's not a clover honey because it's not sweet enough, I don't think anyway. Although obviously with the alcohol it could have changed it, but yeah, it's a really good honey on the back taste anyway. Yeah, Hopster Moor is good. Oh yeah, of course, Dave. We went in there, didn't we? When you were here a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Gee whiz, time flies, doesn't it? Steve needs his own beehive. Sit on top of the boat. I tell you what, I bet if you sat a beehive on top of the boat and you travelled around, the bees would still find their way back. I don't know, actually, would they? I don't know. They navigate, don't they? Well, people say they navigate by ley lines. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Yes, my very first video. Yeah, I leave it up there, only because some people say to me, "Oh, you went in the USA. You didn't do that. You didn't do that." So it sort of shows that when I was at Niagara Falls, I think was in there. When I was over, I can't think where I was. I was on a beach somewhere, wasn't I? Well, it's sort of an estuary. That's in New Hampshire, I think. Uh, yeah, there's a few bits in there from. I thought, well, that was one of my first sort of camcorder I ever had, decent proper camcorder, which now is it's a JVC camcorder, and it was at the time cutting edge technology, but it's MPEG 2. And if I try to link it to my laptop, it says no common files found. So you have to click all files for it to find it. And it goes, are you sure you want to download this junk? Basically, it says, it don't quite say that, but it sort of says, what does it say? Video quality, uh, um, poor video quality or something it comes up with. It's quite amazing. The laptop doesn't really want to do it. Yeah, I didn't film every bit. It's quite odd actually because I didn't film all the narrowboats I went and looked at. I filmed, 3 or 4, and I looked at quite a few more, and most of them were just complete pieces of junk. And most of them were more expensive than what I bought. I looked at one, which the floorboards were all falling. You had to be careful where you trod because you fall through the floorboards, as it was that rotten on the floor, as there was water leaks everywhere. And they wanted 45 grand for it, and it was a 45-foot boat. And it was, well, it was a piece of junk, basically. I didn't put an offer in, as you can probably guess. The guy said to me, "Do you want to put an offer in?" And I said they would. Actually, the guy actually said to me, "Would you like to put an offer in?" And I said they wouldn't accept my offer. And he looked at me. I said, "Because I'd give them £1 and scrap it." And he goes, "No, I don't think they'd take your offer." So I did actually put sort of an offer in, but not on a real offer. I was just joking around. And this boat, we've been out looking at boats. That day, my brother was driving me around. We were looking at boats, and we got back, and I've been checking on places like eBay and all sorts of things. Apollo Duck every day, and I come back to my parents' house. As I was back in the UK, and I went onto eBay, and this boat was on eBay, and I went and put an offer in on it, and bought it. And this is a 60-foot boat, not 45, like most of the ones I looked at, 45 or 50, because I thought I couldn't afford anything bigger. And this one popped up at 20, well, it came up at, I think it was 28.5, it was advertised at. I offered 24 and bought it for 24,000. I think I got a deal. I think I got a very good deal. Obviously, I've changed things around. It was still basically a higher boat. It had 6 bunk beds in it when I bought it. So yeah, it was still definitely a higher boat. But I've slowly been changing it around in my own time, doing things like putting new floor in. I want to put a new galley in. Just sort of come up with the pennies for that. That got a bit ruined when the water pump leaked. So I do need to change that. Was going to be doing it around now, but now I've got the gearbox problem. I've got to go and get the gearbox sorted out. So that's a definite first. Yeah, I thought it was a bargain, Dave. I've been offered a lot more for it since I bought it. So you do have your own beehive. Actually, I think I remember you telling me that, Dave. Yeah. So it's your own honey in here, is it? I'll tell you what, the honey on the back flavour of this is your own honey. It's really, really good. I'll tell you what. MEAD originally was made really, really weak back in the day. MEAD was given to children back in the day because it was safer to drink a low alcoholic beer stroke mead than it was to drink the water. And mead used to be made around about 1.5% to 2% alcohol. This is probably somewhere between 8 and 10% alcohol, I'm guessing. Have you checked it at all, Steve? So I'm just reading through the comments. I don't want to miss anybody out. I appreciate all your comments. I really do. I really love people that put comments in. I love to interact with you guys. It'd be almost nice if you could, if it was almost like a Zoom call where you stay muted, but you come in and chat to me as well. That'd be even better, wouldn't it? But obviously it's not. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna be tipsy tonight, guys. The more I drink that, the more I want to drink it. It's what we call in England Moorish. And Moorish, I know when I said this word over in the US, nobody knew what I meant. Moorish means when you try something, you want more, basically. It's Moorish. Yeah. So this is definitely Moorish. When was the last time I was in the Greyhound? I have been in there since we went in there, Dave, but I've only been in there once since. I went in on the Tuesday to meet the Tuesday night guys. Might have been in there twice on a Tuesday. When I came back down from Atherstone, I've been in the MEAD a few times. Yeah, I didn't stop. I didn't stop. I didn't stop at the Greyhound. I stopped well before. I stopped at Bedworth, opposite the high school, that night, and then I came from Bedworth down to, oh, excuse me, Windy Pop's name, down to the Longford Engine. I stopped at the Longford Engine that night. I didn't go in the Longford either. I picked up some firewood along the way, and I spent the afternoon sawing up firewood and splitting it and whatever you do. And the next morning, I sawed up all the rest. I recharged the batteries, sawed up all the rest, which I've just got enough now for about one more day. So I need some more firewood. So that tree in the canal, I'm hoping to get some of that. It's a plane tree, and plane, I think is it a hardwood? I think it is. I'm not sure. I've burnt plain wood before, and it doesn't burn too bad. It's not as good as some woods, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'll quite happily dry some out on the roof and burn it. Well, I I planned to leave the basin yesterday. Um, I'm now just dependent upon the CRT contractors coming out and removing the tree. It's that round. It's like that round at its base. It's not what's that I could cut through with my cordless chainsaw. It must be 2.5 foot to 3 foot diameter at the base. So I'm definitely not going to cut it up. But obviously the smaller stuff at the other end I can cut up quite easily. But it's in the canal at the moment. I need them to cut it up and drag it out and say as soon as if I hear the chainsaws going tomorrow, it's right by the water points. I don't know if you remember, Dave, as you come out of the basin, there's 2 water points straight away on your right hand side. Well, as soon as you come past those water points, there's a couple of moorings, and it's across the middle of those 2 moorings. Fortunately, there was no boats there. I will be back in the Greyhound. I'll tell you where I will be. I've got to get the boat there for New Year's Eve. I will be in the Greyhound for New Year's Eve, so I'm going to get the boat there for New Year's Eve. And I'll tell you why I'm going to be in the Greyhound for New Year's Eve. I can just reach around here. I have a ticket for the Greyhound for New Year's Eve. So you can find me in the Greyhound New Year's Eve. Yeah, I can do all of probably 200 yards max, Dave. I'm well hemmed in. You're right. Yeah, I try to season it a bit, Dave. Dave Gilder says, it's amazing how quickly it seasons on the roof. Certain woods, there's one reason why I try to pick up ash most of the time. I look for ash because you don't need a season ash. You can burn ash green, not a problem. But anything else, I've got some hawthorn I'm burning at the moment. It was down, so it's been down a while, I think. But it's still touch green. But if you split it and put it on the roof, the air blowing through it, it's amazing how quick it will season. And then before I burn it, I sit it all the way around the hearth of the fire, and I leave it there for basically best part of the day. So I basically kiln dry it. So it always burns very well. I try to leave it around the hearth for at least. Well, I normally change it twice a day. I normally put some around the hearth first thing in the morning, and when I go to bed, I put that into my wood burning box, and then I put around the hearth again overnight. And when I get up in the morning, I put it away. So it has 12 hours by the fire, drying out, and it always burns nicely. So it works. The only things probably wouldn't work is if it is willow or something like that. But oak is a little bit harder to season as well. But a lot of the other woods, hawthorn seasons beautifully like that. I've only burnt. This is a plane tree down, and I've only burnt plane, I believe, once before, and I think that was quite dead and well seasoned. So I'm not sure how it's going to react. I don't know much about plane trees. You don't see them down very often. You see them up in the air about 5,000 feet, but not quite that tall, of course. But they're tall and straight, aren't they? So yeah, I don't know much about them. I know I've burnt it before. I've actually picked up some twigs around the bottom of them before. Uh, when I was for kindling, um, when I was Malkin's Bank, if you're more up just before you're going down the locks at Malkin's Bank, there's plane trees along there, and I picked up bits, the twigs that have fallen off the trees, and used it as kindling, and it burnt really well as kindling, but that was obviously dead and fallen down. But I got to find out more about it. Oh dear, it had to be a. Hey, at least Dave's got a joke in tonight. That's the first one, Dave. Yeah, I don't actually. I'm not a big fan of burning maple because it's got too much sap in it. Um, sycamore burns nicely as long as it's a bit. I've actually burning some sycamore at the moment as well. I picked that up, and it was a tree that was dead standing, and a guy cut it down. It was dead standing, and I got a couple of I had about 4 lengths about this long. You can't get it in the picture. Let's get it in the picture. No, do you know what? When you're on here, it's always the opposite hand to what you're seeing yourself. You see it the right way around. I see it back to front, so it's always awkward to see which way to put your hands. Oh, you do the same as me, Dave Gilder says. Yeah. Do you know what? Coal's expensive. I've spent too much on coal this year. I got well when I was playing around getting my boat out the water for black, and I didn't want the roof covered with wood because obviously I couldn't have the roof covered with wood while they were lifting the boat out, and I didn't want all that extra weight on the boat either. Um, and I've told you guys a few times my boat is up to around about 22 tons, and when I went to have it blacked and it was lifted out, Rue said to me, I said, "It's quite heavy, isn't it, Rue?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "It's up somewhere between 21 and 22 tons, I reckon." But going by the amount of pressure he had to put in on the hydraulics to lift it out, he doesn't have a stress meter, so he can't actually read it. But he goes by the amount of pressure he has to put into the hydraulics for the hoist. So yeah, it was good. Reversing is crap. You obviously missed the start, Dave. yeah, when I go up, I'm going straight in the new year. This is why my filming is going to be a bit hit and miss perhaps for a while, because in the new year I'm going up to Wheelock to meet Simeon, my friend Sim, and he's going to look at my gearbox for me. So yeah, that's my first trip in the new year, is up to Wheelock. So I've got a bit of a trip to do straight away in the new year. Let's hope it's not raining and snowing and icing and all that BS. Let's hope it's 70 degrees in the shade, and I can cruise in shorts in January. I don't think that's going to happen. Steve, I'm getting drunk. Has anyone else got any other questions there? Of course, let's realize we've got 21 people in here tonight. Let me know if you're in the chat. Come in and say hello. Let me know who you are. And we got 11 thumbs up. We need another 10 thumbs ups, don't we? Don't forget, that really helps the old channel, the old thumbs ups. And I reckon between 8 and 10%. Might even be a little bit above that. It's as strong, probably, as the cider. Put it this way, it's affecting me as quick as the cider. And that's Dan's cider from Bollington. Dan's cider from Bollington. Steve's mead from Coventry / Birmingham. Although I think he made it on the boat. I think he made it on the boat when he was on the move, because it's got on here 29th of August 2024. Steve was out on his boat then, so I think he made it on his boat. Whilst cruising, where he was on the 29th of August when he bottled it, and where he was before that when he actually made it, who knows? So it's obviously well travelled. Oh, I sleep every night. That's not a problem sleeping these days. Sleeping used to be a problem when I worked. I used to sleep between 2 and 3 hours a night, most nights. These days, 8, 10 hours, no problem at all. Without this, actually, this makes it worse, because I have to get up in the night to have a pee. Gee whiz, this is good stuff. Well, I spoke to the guy that did my blacking, which is Rue at Armada Boat Services, or Armada Hire, or goes under a couple of different names, depending on what you're buying, about getting it stripped back and 2-packed. And he told me a complete waste of money. He said because the extra expense on getting it all stripped back to bare metal and doing 2-pack, obviously very expensive. And he said you only get about 3 to 4 years at a 2-pack anyway before it needs redoing. And you're going to get 2 to 3 years out of your blacking. And blacking, well, especially for the first time, if you're going to 2-pack it after mine's been black before, is about a fourth of the cost, if not less, probably about a fifth of the cost. So I can get black for 5 times rather than 2-pack. So I've got blacking. and I shall have the boat out again in a couple of years' time and get it blacked again to get a good base on it. It was the best part of 5 years between black and this time. That's because I didn't have the money to do it for the first 3 to 4 years. I was so broke, I just hadn't a penny, just couldn't afford to do it. Very kindly, Mark, the Schwartz, helped me out with the cost of the blacking this year. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, I retired back in March officially, although I hadn't worked for 5 years. I retired back in March officially. I took my company pension back in March, and with at least with some sort of income coming in, I was able to get. I'm able to get a few things done. My pension is not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but living on the boat, of course, I can plan things and do things around. And I do make a little bit of money on here, on my YouTube. It's not a lot. It's about 40 quid a month, but that all saves up. And not only the YouTube, of course, I've got people on Patreon, people send me money on PayPal, and also, channel members and all that. So I actually do make the YouTube brings in to me on average about £100 a month. Now I try to save that £100 a month for specific jobs. So I need something to be done. I try to save it all. I actually, if I take it out of YouTube, well, YouTube automatically pays me into a bank account, and I actually transfer it into a different bank account as soon as I get paid it. And when I take out my Patreon money, I put that also into that bank account, and that bank account is my money I spend for doing jobs on the boat. And that's where I've been saving the Patreon money now, because the blacking I saved up from my pension, and obviously Mark's help to do the blacking. Well, to put the new kitchen in, or galley, or whatever you want to call it, I've saved my Patreon money for now nearly 2 years. So I now have the money in a bank account to do my new kitchen with. So it's all savings, and I don't possess a credit card. I have absolutely nothing on credit. I don't owe anyone a penny in the world. So it makes it, I save up for everything I do, which is the way I like to do it. And I think that's probably why I sleep for a blooming ever these days. I haven't got a worry in the blooming world, basically. My biggest worry is where I'm going to get my next beer from. Yeah, it's not a worry, is it? Plenty of beer on the boat anyway if I really wanted some. This is good stuff, Steve. Oh, I see things open up here. Yes, Dave. Yeah. I remember taking a tape measure to bed tonight. I think I used to do that when I was about 14. No, it's a different reason. Yeah. 2 Daves in the chatting room. So Dave Gill, I think is completely correct. I think if you've got a brand spanking brand new boat and it was 2-packed originally, it's worth keeping it up with 2-pack. I think if you've got an older boat like mine's what, 1986 boat, I don't think there's any worth in putting 2-pack on it. I really don't. I think, oh, by the way, I apologise, guys, if you get an ad in about a minute's time. To be monetized, you have to obviously have ads on your channel, and these days, I don't know if you. I can't find a different way of doing it. I put the ads to come in the longest period you can. It either put them in automatically for you, and I know when you do that, it gets ads about every 5 minutes, or you can choose when the ads come in. And I choose the longest period you can, which is every 30 minutes. So we're just coming up to the hour I've been on live streaming now, so we're just coming up to an ad. Apologies. I'll pour a beer. I'll get drunk while the ad comes up. only done half a bottle, not even half a bottle. Whew. I reckon that this is an 8-ounce glass, and I haven't even got it filled up. I reckon that's equivalent to drinking almost 2 pints of an average beer, alcohol-wise. I can't even work out how to put this bloody thing back on now. There we go. Whew. Well, hopefully the ads are gone now, and you all clicked skip if you've got an ad. Not everybody will get one, but I hope you all click skip if you've got an ad, because I don't have the ads in there. Okay, I make money from them, you know that. But when I'm doing a live stream, I prefer if there weren't any in there, to be honest with you. I don't mind an ad at the start and then at the end, but when I'm chatting live stream, I really wouldn't want any in there. But if I monetize the video, you have to have the ads in there, of course, for monetization. So, yeah. Oh, I've got the taste of this. This is blooming good. And do you know what? I'll tell you what I did earlier. Dan's cider, I actually got out because it was in the bottom of the cupboard right at the back. Well, basically my well deck, my cut out bit in the bottom, so it sits on the floor. And I got it out earlier. I thought, well, I'll drink that bottle of mead, and I might want a top up, and I'll have some of the cider to go with it. Whew, that's not going to happen. I don't even think I can drink a whole bottle of the mead. I think the other half a bottle is going to be tomorrow. I've only had half a bottle. If I had a hydrometer right now, I'd be checking this. I said it's probably between 8 and 10. It's probably more like 14 to 16% alcohol. Yeah. Actually, you're probably right there, Dave, because I hate ads on the TV. It's probably why I don't watch the Poxy TV very often. You know, I'm down to watching one thing, and I won't be watching that now for another 3 months anyway. The only thing I watch on TV these days is the F1. And I only watch that because I've been watching it since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Yeah, and I watch it on Channel 4 on the catch-up because when it's shown on Channel 4, normally it's at stupid o'clock at night, and I'm in bed by then anyway. So I watch it. I normally get up in the morning and watch the F1 about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I put the F1 on and watch the race. Yeah, the ads really, really, really piss me off, and I don't want to upset anyone. Do you know what the worst ads are? I think are the begging bowl ads. Why? Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but I've had a couple of beers, so I will say it. Why does everybody in the world expect us, poor little England, to actually give money to every country in the world? I don't understand that. You know, they've got their own governments, and some of these countries are actually quite rich that hold out the begging bowl for. They're actually quite rich countries. You know, they've got diamonds, they've got gold, they've got oil. Just because their government is so screwed up and they don't spend it on their people, why should we? Oh, sorry, I've come off track now. Just things that piss me off. Don't talk to ads. Don't mention ads anymore. I'm sorry about that, guys. I got a bit off track there. But I'll tell you what I think. You know me. I don't hold back. If I think something's wrong, I'll tell you I think it's wrong. Yeah. I was watching about the farmers in London today, and that's another thing. I support the farmers all the way. You might have noticed the video. I went to their rally in London about 4 weeks ago, and and to support our farmers, and I'll support them all the way. I was brought up on a farm, so I know how hard a lot of these farmers work. So yeah, I will support our farmers. They're not rich. Most of the people at the farm are not rich. They may have a lot of value of land, but they're not rich. They make less than the average wage. Most of them make less than the average wage in the UK, and they work 50 or 60, 70, 80 hours a week to do that. Think about it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Dave. India, one of the richest countries in the world, and we still send them money every bloody year. Yeah. But they don't look after their own, do they? You know, they don't look after their own people. They have some of the biggest slums in the world. So why should poor old England, which is now one of the poorest countries in the world, we used to be a rich country, we ain't anymore because we've imported the third world. But I didn't say that. Why should we send money to places like India? Got more money than us by far. By far. It's like China. We still send money to China. Why do we send money to China? Oh, don't get me going. Don't get me going. I wouldn't normally say that if I hadn't been drinking. Yes, it was a very good turnout in London today, Sam. Yeah, I watched the live stream by gee whiz, Jeff. What's his name? Jeff. Gee whiz, I'll have to have a look at this now just to. Where's my cursor? Jeff Taylor. I watched the live stream from Jeff Taylor, and there were hundreds and hundreds of tractors there. Good for you guys. Actually, I wish I'd gone down there today, but oh, I'm talking to Dave Gill again now. Just put a question or a statement basically in the live stream. I think anybody that knows me will totally agree that I will die on this boat. By hook or by crook, I will die on this boat or a boat. There is absolutely no way I ever want to live in bricks and mortar again. I'm going to my parents for Christmas, and I love my parents to death. Don't get me wrong, and my brother lives there as well, so I see my immediate family. I struggle to be there, not because of the people, as I love being there to see my mum and dad and my brother, and we have food wise, we have some great food, we have some great beer or whatever. I just don't feel comfortable living in a house anymore, or literally 2 days, 2 to 3 days, being in bricks and mortar. I want to get back on the boat, and it's not that I don't want to be there. I just don't feel comfortable there anymore. I really don't. I just don't feel comfortable living in a house anymore. I struggle to sleep. I really struggle to sleep. As I told you earlier, I sleep like I could sleep like a blooming bear on this boat. I could hibernate for 6 months and wouldn't have a problem. As soon as I'm in bricks and mortar, I'm awake most of the night. I just don't feel right. I just want to get back on my boat. And as I say, I love going. I want to go there. I want to visit my parents. No, my dad's 90 and my mum's 87. I want to be there and visit them and see them. And my brother lives there as well. As I say, my brother's their carer basically now. And I want to go and see them all. But as soon as I get there, it's not because of them, it's because I'm in a building. I just don't feel comfortable. I just want to get out. And funny enough, Sim, if you're still around, uh, when Sim offered me his boat to stay on when my boat was out of the water, do you know that was almost a relief off of my mind? Not because of what I was going to pay to stay in a hotel locally. It is because I knew I wouldn't be comfortable in a hotel locally to where the boat was coming out of the water. And I slept like a log on Sim's boat, a boat I hadn't been on. I slept like a bloody log on there, and I absolutely loved it. You know, it felt like my as a second home because I was on a boat, and it's got a great boat, by the way. It's a beautiful boat. Um, yeah, and it's absolutely wonderful. You know, compared with my boat, it's living in a castle. You know, or rather than living in a slum. You know what I mean? But my boat is homely. I call it homely. It's old, it's homely. Yeah, it's got all this dark wood all around you. That's why it's so dark in it, because it's all dark wood. And I've got lights on all around me. I've got the spotlights on me, and I've got the side lights on. But as you see, I'm still, it's all dark around me. I could turn on the back lights and illuminate the sides, but I think seeing me's bad enough. You don't need to see the boat. But yeah, I that to me was absolutely fantastic. I and his wife Sharon and all, absolutely fantastic. A great couple. I I was so I felt at home, and I was 100 odd miles from my boat. And I know what it is about being on a boat. I feel at home on boats now. I don't feel at home in bricks and mortar. I don't know what else I can say to that. It's just yeah. And I see Sim. Thank you, Sim. Yeah. See it. Someone's gone. Yeah. Okay. I was sort of missing out there a little bit. Gotta shoot. Cheers, everyone. Top channel. Cheers, Dave. And don't forget to check Dave's channel out. But yeah. Yeah, boats. You either love them or boats are Marmite, aren't they? I reckon boats are Marmite. My mum hates boats. She wouldn't last 5 seconds on this boat. I'm the opposite. I love boats, and it's not just the boat; it's the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle is really and truly. If this was a brick built house that could float and you could move along the canal, I'd probably still love it. Um, it's the lifestyle. I meet so many people, and I got Steve actually said something the other night. Steve Tyrrell, don't know if Steve's still around. Steve Steve's MEAD. Gee whiz, I'm getting wasted. Um, he said something the other night about why he thinks boaters always feel so great with other boaters. And what he said was, you don't get to meet people for very long. So you don't get to know people properly. And most people, when you first meet them, are great. And because you're not going to see them again, you have a good time, whatever, a few drinks, whatever, and go away. You see, I think that's true to a degree, but I know so many boaters now that I've met and I've known for a long time now. I say a long time. I've known since I've been boating back these days, the modern day of boating, not when I boated years ago. So I've been February will be 5 years I've been on my boat. So a lot of these people, especially some of the people that I know, Steve on Narrowboat, Brutus Maximus. Now I've known him from the lockdown days because he was there. Uh, there's a few others that gee whiz. the plant boat, Neil on the plant boat, and Claire. I've known them since the plant boat days, since the lockdown days, because we were all at rugby at the time. Scott, I've known Scott since then. Now I've got to know these people, and I've met them a lot of times now since lockdown days. Steve, I was with probably a couple of months ago now. Time flies by so quickly. It's before my boat came out the water. But you get to know these people, and I think I know them really, really well nowadays, because as soon as you see their boat, you stop. First thing you do is either the kettle goes on, or the beer comes out, or the barbecue comes out, or I got food cooking on the stove, or somebody else has got food cooking on the stove, and you literally, as if you haven't been apart for a long time. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think boating people are a little bit special. I think we look out for each other. Everybody would 99% of this is, by the way, there's the odd one, of course, but 99% of people, if you've got a problem, will help you, no matter what it is. And I tell you what, things. It's that the other day, I was at Springwood Marina, or this side of Springwood Marina, just past Springwood Marina, and a guy said to me, "I've got a bag of coal I can't use. It's red. It wasn't red, but it's got red in it." And he said, "Because my fire won't burn it, because he's got a small fire, so I can only burn Excel." He said, "Would you like it?" I said, "I'll buy it off you." "No, you can't buy it off of me." So I'll buy it off you. I said, "No, no, 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 no. Take it." And I said to him, "Do you know what? It's quite odd." I said, "Because literally 2 to 3 weeks before that, there was a guy I met, and it was when we had that real cold snap. Didn't have any money for coal, didn't have any money for fuel, didn't have anything. Little boat, little about 35-foot boat, and he was there basically shivering. He had a huge coat on, and I gave him a bag of coal. He said, "I can't pay you for it." I said, "I don't want a payment for it. Take it." I said, "I'm not going to see another boater, another human being on the canal freeze to death. Take a bag of coal." So is that what karma? What goes around comes around. I've given a bag of coal away, and suddenly somebody gives me another bag of coal. I'm just saying. I believe in karma, by the way. A lot of people don't, I know, but I do. I I don't believe in a lot of things a lot of people believe in, but I believe in a few things. But yeah, it's quite odd, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. And I'm rambling probably now. I'm getting a little bit. People are sending me messages. Baths. Yeah. Do you know what? If I had gone to the hotel, I might have enjoyed laying in a bath for a couple of hours. Andy, you're at Hill Morton Locks. Oh, I've been up round there enough times. Well, I'm going to be at Hawkesbury Junction for New Year's, Andy. Andy, do you look on my thing? My thing. Send me an email. I'll talk to you on email because I don't want to say too much on here. So send me an email, and I will definitely respond to the email. Obviously, after I've done this live stream, but send me an email, and it's Trev's Travels by Trev's Travels by narrowboat at gmail.com. But it should be in the description of this video. If not, any of my videos is in the description. Send me an email, and I'll talk to you about that. Where we can meet up for a beer. I just, as I'm going to be leaving my boat for a while, I don't want to tell people where my boat will be. Perfect. and I'll definitely meet up for a beer. I love meeting up with other boaters, as you all know. I'm what's it about me? I don't know. I don't know. People said to me when I first moved on my boat, I'll give you 2 years max and you'll be back in the house. I love it. Okay, I've got what, 50 foot of interior space by what, 6. Look, I'm touching both walls. I'm touching both walls here, okay? That's how narrow a narrowboat is. I can touch both walls. I couldn't think of a better space to live in. And I actually was watching earlier today. There was nothing to do about boats. It was about people with big houses compared with people with small houses. I can't remember what it was on. Just some random thing I was watching on eBay. eBay? YouTube. YouTube. I'm pretty sure eBay wasn't selling it. Anyway, it was on about how much of your house do you use? And what they'd actually done was somebody that basically they're sort of a mapping thing. They'd click to their cell that trace where they walked all the time, part of the house they used all the time, and they basically used none of their house. You've got this huge house, and basically the bit they use where they walk to, walk down, watch the TV, walk back, go in the kitchen, make something to eat, walk, go in the bedroom, go in the bathroom, or whatever. But there's a tiny, tiny little square footage of the house they're actually used. All the rest they hardly ever walked into. The only time they appeared to use any of the other part of the house was to use the vacuum or clean it. So if you can get used to living in that space, but only in that space without all the rest around it, boats are quite big. Just saying. Well, anyway, guys, I as you can probably tell, I'm getting Steve. What? Do you put a bottle of bloody vodka in this as well, Steve? Whew. I can't believe this. You can probably Can you just about see there? It's still nearly half full. Whew. That's equivalent to drinking at least 6 pints of good beer. And I've had like 4 of these 8-ounce glasses. Yeah. Thank you very much, Lee. Yeah, I think was even it's at the time. Been on here nearly an hour and a half, hour and 20 odd minutes anyway. Hour and 34 minutes. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap this up, guys. It says an hour and 23 minutes up there. That's weird. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't read. That says an hour and 24 minutes down there, not an hour and 34 minutes. Gee whiz, definitely whew. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah, actually, there's some new people in the stream tonight. I don't think Andy's been in before. I don't think Dave Gill's been in before. So that's absolutely brilliant. New people joining the stream. Some of the older regulars not in here that come in quite regular. I didn't see Willie tonight, but it might be because of the time. Willie obviously is over in the US with yourself, and a couple of others I didn't see. But that's probably because I did it earlier tonight because I wanted to make sure I would be okay for lighting, and I think my batteries are a little bit screwed up. They didn't, yeah, I did start talking about that earlier, but I'm gonna have to buy some new batteries. So the kitchen might get put on hold for a little while, and I might have to buy some new batteries again. And if I do, I'm gonna buy lithium. The kitchen money will buy 2 lithium batteries, so that's what I'm going to probably have to do. And hopefully, once I put lithium on, I won't ever have a problem with electric again. They should probably outlast me, because I probably haven't got long to go. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, anyway, so I might put lithium on, and yeah, I won't have to worry about electric anymore, because I've worked out the cost, and I've looked at it today. I'm thinking about putting 2 300 amp hour lithium batteries on. So it cost me £1,000, but that's the money I had saved up for the kitchen. And I think power is much more important than replacing my kitchen. I can live with the kitchen. It's only me on the bloody boat after all. Okay, I have the odd guests come on and whatever. They'll have to put up my kitchen half falling apart, 2 doors missing because they got rotted out when a water pump went, all that. Do you know what? A brand new cooker, brand new fridge. I bought those when I retired with my retirement money, my lump sum I took. The kitchen can wait. Everything works. The taps all work. You know what I mean? Everything works. It's just a little bit not pretty, but I can deal with not pretty for a while. So I think my kitchen money is probably going to go for 2 brand new lithium batteries. I have a little bit left over, so I can start saving again for the kitchen, perhaps a year's time, which will suit me. I don't care. So yeah, so I'm going to wind this up, guys, before another ad comes up in about 3 minutes' time, so you don't have to watch another poxy ad. Hopefully you've had ad stoppers and all that stuff. We're watching up with ad stoppers, because I really don't do the ads in the stream to make money out of. I prefer them not to be there. But the way, if you want to do a live stream and you want it monetized, you have to have them in there. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody joining me tonight. And yeah, you've watched me get a little bit tipsy again. And I'm going to go and find something to eat now. I haven't eaten. That's probably why I'm a bit tipsy. So I'll catch you all again. Dave Gill, great seeing you. Yeah, anyone wants to contact me or anything, don't forget, send me an email. I'll answer all emails, guaranteed. Sometimes the messages on YouTube, I don't see them for blooming weeks. Don't ask me why. But anyway, I'll bring this to an end. Really great chatting to you all, guys. You guys, really great chatting to all you guys. I don't know if there's any gals in the in here tonight. I don't think we had any gals, did we? Well, I don't know, because I don't know if any gals came in. Somebody just joined. I'm sorry, whoever just joined. Hi, Martin. Hello, Martin. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off here and go and do something to eat. Probably gonna be a sandwich, but I haven't got any bread, so it's not gonna be a sandwich. Something anyway. I was moving the boat yesterday to go and get shopping, so I've run out of bread. I have to go to Tesco and get some bread. Anyway, I better end it the proper way, hadn't I? Thank you very much for watching. Trevor out. Where's the button to end the stream? Oh, there it is.